Please welcome Brian Forde, candidate for U.S. Congress.
Hello. We got this microphone going? Yeah, we do. All right, no more Madonna. We just got a microphone. All right, so how many of you expected to see someone run for Congress here? Not many. Dumber question. How many of you own cryptocurrency? Yeah. Next question. How many of you have spoken with an elected official over the last 12 months? A few hands. All right, well, hey Siri, how many people has J.P. Morgan, how many members of Congress has J.P. Morgan spoken with in the last year? Woo! There we go. More than 160 people are on the J.P. Morgan payroll. Jamie Dimon is filling their ears with a lot of information. Is blockchain not Bitcoin, they'll say. Yet our favorite friend, Jamie Dimon, the same guy that is not bullish on crypto, he's certainly bullish on blockchain patents. And that is the problem. That is why we cannot have nice things. That is why we are not defending things like net neutrality. That is why we do not unlock our internet. But you know what? Sometimes government can do good things. Back in 1996, our legislators came together with the president and unlocked our cell phone numbers so that you can take your cell phone number from one carrier to another. Back in 2014, they unlocked our cell phones so that your cell phone was not bound to your carrier. And the government also unlocks our data. Have you checked your weather data today? That came from the U.S. government. Did you use GPS to get here? That, again, came from the U.S. government. And so there are a lot of opportunities to be unlocking the power that we need to do that you guys do every single day. And in fact, I've been unlocking the power ever since high school when I first learned to code. I then went down to the Peace Corps in Nicaragua to help people get access to internet and computers to unlock their potential as well. I then stayed there and then started a phone company. It became one of the biggest phone companies in Nicaragua by unlocking voice over IP. But we had a problem down there. Voice over IP in Nicaragua was not legal and it was not illegal. It was just new. Sound familiar? Sound like a lot of the challenges that you guys are facing today? Absolutely. And so when I saw that we needed to have technologists in government. That's why I went to go work as a senior advisor in the Obama White House. Yeah, we can celebrate Obama. And make sure that we are consistently on the right side of history, including being on the right side of history when it comes to cryptocurrencies. That's why I wrote the White House memo on Bitcoin. That's why I then briefed President Obama on Bitcoin to make sure that the President of the United States understands the positive impact that unlocking our financial sector, that unlocking all the opportunity you get with cryptocurrencies happens. But friends, it's now time to unlock Congress. You see, when I finished at the White House, I went to go to MIT, and I started the research lab at MIT called the Digital Currency Initiative. raised $900,000 to support our core developers and give them jobs at MIT. Helped start the research lab to get our graduate students and undergraduate students to ultimately become entrepreneurs like a lot of you. But right now, did any of you guys watch the hearings in Congress with Mark Zuckerberg? And they don't know anything. Shame on them. That is the challenge that we're facing today. Because you know what we were talking about? We were talking about social media. They could not understand social media. So how on earth are they going to understand cryptocurrencies? This is the challenge that we have. You know why? Because the average age of Democratic leadership is 72 years old. I'm 38. Less than 4% of people in Congress have a technical background. Yet more than 40% are lawyers. We need to have people who understand the impact of cryptocurrencies, understand that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities, understand that we need a federal money transmitter license, not going state by state, understand the difference between a utility token, to make sure that we get to the right place with cryptocurrencies and that they can unlock the potential that all of you are working on. But we got a challenge. I'm running against this guy who says, while I'm excited about the potential for a distributed ledger, like others who study money, don't believe cryptocurrency will ever replace money, which means value is being driven by speculation. Nerd alert, not nerd alert, dunce alert. These are the types of lawyers that do not understand cryptocurrency. This is the challenge we're facing if we elect more lawyers and not more technologists to Congress. So let's give my competition a reason to understand that cryptocurrency is money. In fact, let's give them 250,000 reasons crypto is money. This is actually a screenshot from yesterday. In less than 18 days, we've raised more than $78,000, but I think now it's up to $93,000 in cryptocurrency. To show our members of Congress that cryptocurrency is money. And in fact, because 20% of my campaign contributions have come in crypto, we now have other members of Congress who are accepting cryptocurrency. Because how on earth are you going to legislate a technology if you don't understand a technology? How are you going to understand a technology if you don't use a technology? And that's the point here. So how many of you are willing to support this campaign to get the first crypto candidate into Congress? Well, if you want to do that, take out your phones. Come on, you guys always take out your phones. I'm actually, as a speaker, inviting you to take out your phones and email crypto@forde.com, and we will send you a link to this site so that you can make your contribution heard, so that we make sure that our government is on the right side of history. Because what scares me is that I'm running in Orange County, California. That includes a city called Irvine. And when I go to the Ethereum meetup in Irvine, I see more than 200 entrepreneurs there. I see 0 elected officials there. I see more than $300 to $400 million in companies there. And the biggest fear I hear is that they can't stay in my district, that they got to leave this country to do the work that they want to do, and our economy and our country is losing out on one of the biggest economic opportunities that we've seen. And I don't want to see that happen. That's why I need your support. That's why I need you guys to email crypto@forde.com, tweet it out, telegram it out. We would love your support. Thank you so much. But like any good technologist, there's always one more thing. If we hit $250,000 in support, I will be the first candidate to implement blockchain voting on our policy positions so that we hear from our constituents what they want and we show it transparently. That's what we get. That's what we're going to get if you guys can help me reach this goal. Now, we have some time from Q&A, but I actually know that I'm actually sitting in a room of people who've been thinking about this, and I want to hear your suggestions for what we should do in terms of policy and for what we should do to have the first candidate start to implement participatory democracy, the first candidate to start to implement liquid democracy. I want to hear your suggestions. So please take the mic.
Hi, Brian. Thank you for coming. My name is Grace. I work at the State Department in Technology and Innovation, so I really appreciate your insight and also your energy and the insight that the energy you're bringing into the DC. So I really appreciate it. So my question is really about the implementation and the political rhetoric or the vision. How do we all have the insight and the humility and really just realizing that all of our work is for the consumers and the citizens to work together in a collaborative working sense in these multidimensional public policy space?
So I think one of the things that I learned in government is that we would pull together the private sector, we would pull together entrepreneurs, we would pull together academia, we would pull together legislators and folks in the executive branch. And one of the things that oftentimes people would miss is that each of those people that I just mentioned bring different skill sets, different levers to the table. But if we take a step back, we have to make sure that we're all focusing on accomplishing the same goal, even though sometimes we speak different languages and we have different levers at our disposal. And so it's important to, one, take a step back and say, hey, what are we all trying to achieve? And make sure that we're trying to achieve it and say, hey, I know you as an entrepreneur can do this at this speed. I know you in academia can do this at this speed. How do we build out a complementary infrastructure to make sure we're focusing towards the same goal? Oftentimes when I talk to policymakers who are initially negative on cryptocurrencies, I talk about the policies that they're trying to solve for. And then I help them understand how cryptocurrencies can help them achieve that. Once they understand that it's a new tool in their toolkit to help achieve the policy goals that they want to achieve, they become on board and go from being negative on the potential of a new technology to actually being positive on that technology. And that's something that we can all learn from and all do in our engagement with folks in government. I think is incredibly critical. So thank you for your question.
Hi, Brian. David Floyd from CoinDesk. I'm wondering, in terms of this platform where you'd allow your constituents to vote on the blockchain, would you hold yourself to the results of that vote in terms of how you vote in Congress?
So here's what I'm concerned with today that I feel this best addresses. Right now, if you're upset on climate change, if you're upset on immigration reform, if you're upset on the health care bill, how do you voice your opinion? You call Congress, you send an email, maybe you send a fax, but all of a sudden it's just someone in the background, an intern maybe, counting chicken scratches, but there's no public accountability for the voice of the citizen. And so what I want to do is create transparency for the voice of the decision of the citizen, so that if I do make a decision that is not consistent with what all the votes said, that I got to explain myself. And sometimes as a leader, you will have to do that. But what I'm trying to create and what I think is incredibly important is that there is transparency in the voice of your constituents and that you are held accountable for the votes you do against them and you're held accountable for the votes you do for them. Well, thank you guys so much. I love your support. Really appreciate it. And thank you for all that you're doing.